Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling a fruit that, well, it sparks a surprising amount of debate, especially if you're navigating life with diabetes. I'm talking about the banana. It's almost this knee-jerk reaction for so many people. Can you eat it? Is it just strictly off limits?
Yeah, it's a really common concern, the banana quandary, as you put it.
Exactly. That's what we're calling it.
And lots of people just assume, too much natural sugar, so it must be a definite no-go.
Right. But our source for this deep dive, Bananas and Diabetes, a mindful guide, it seems to suggest pretty quickly that the answer isn't quite that simple. Not just a yes or no.
No, definitely not. Far from it.
And that's really our mission today, isn't it? To unpack what this guide says. Can bananas genuinely be part of a healthy diet for someone managing diabetes? And maybe even more important, how?
How is the key word. How to do it thoughtfully.
Okay, so let's jump right in. What's the first big takeaway from the guide?
Well, the most reassuring thing right off the bat is that medical and nutritional experts, they largely agree, bananas can be included in a diabetic diet.
Okay, wow. That's probably a huge sigh of relief for a lot of listeners right now.
I would imagine so.
But I'm sensing a but coming. The
Whoops.
source doesn't just leave it there, right? It's not a free pass.
Exactly. No free pass. There's a big caveat, or rather several crucial considerations you absolutely need to keep in mind.
Such as? What are we talking about here?
It really comes down to how you approach eating them. So things like your portion size, really important. How ripe the banana is, surprisingly critical.
Ripeness. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, and also how it fits into your overall meal plan for the day. The key isn't just avoiding them, it's understanding the details, the nutritional side of things.
Right. Let's dig into those details then. A medium banana? I think the source mentions around 14 grams of sugar. My first thought might be, whoa, is that really okay?
That's the number that usually jumps out, yes. So a medium banana, maybe 7-8 inches long, it's got about 105 calories.
Okay.
And within it, say, 27 grams of total carbs, you've got those 14 grams of sugars.
See, that's the bit that causes the worry.
It is. But like you said, that's only half the story. And honestly, that's often where the misconception stops. People just see the sugar.
So what's the other half?
Crucially, it also packs about 3 grams of fiber. And beyond that, it's actually got some other really good stuff.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Potassium, for instance. Around 422 milligrams, which is something like 12% of your daily value. Pretty good.
Huh. Okay. Didn't realize it was that high.
Yeah, and good amounts of vitamin B6, like 22% of your daily need, and vitamin C, too, around 11%. So it's definitely more than just, a sugar vehicle.
Okay, so it's got this whole package deal going on. But you mentioned fiber being crucial.
Yeah.
Why is that 3 grams, which maybe doesn't sound like a huge amount, why is it such a game changer here?
Yeah, 3 grams might not sound massive, but in this context, it's the unsung hero, really. While the carbs and sugars understandably get the attention, that fiber, especially the type you find in less ripe bananas.
Less ripe, okay.
Yes, that's important. It plays a critical role because it slows down how quickly that sugar gets absorbed into your bloodstream.
So it's not hitting you all at once.
Exactly. Think of it less like a sugar bomb and more like a slow drip fuel source. It helps prevent those really sharp, sudden spikes in blood glucose levels.
Which is exactly what you want to avoid, right?
Precisely. Those spikes are the problem.
That idea of how the sugar gets processed, not just how much is there. That's key. And it leads us, I guess, to this concept the source talks about, the glycemic index, or GI.
The GI.
And this is where the ripeness factor really comes into play, you said. So first, maybe just briefly, what exactly is the glycemic index? Why is it useful?
Sure. So the glycemic index, GI for short, it's basically a scale. It measures how quickly a food that contains carbohydrates raises your blood sugar levels after you eat it.
Okay. A speed measurement for sugar impact.
Kind of, yeah. For someone managing diabetes, it's a really helpful tool because it helps predict, how fast and how high your glucose might go up. It's about the rate of that sugar delivery.
Got it. And with bananas, you're saying that speed changes dramatically depending on how ripe it is. It's like it changes its personality as it ripens.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, it undergoes a pretty significant transformation. So slightly unripe bananas, the ones that are still a bit greenish yellow.
Yeah, the ones maybe some people avoid because they're not as sweet.
Those ones, they actually have a much lower GI, typically somewhere between 42 and 51 on the scale.
Yeah. And why is that? What's happening inside the banana?
The reason is they have a higher amount of something called resistant starch.
Resistant starch.
Okay, what's that? It's a type of carbohydrate, but it acts a lot like fiber. Your body doesn't easily digest it in the small intestine.
Ah, so it resists digestion.
Right.
Makes sense.
Exactly, which means it doesn't cause that rapid blood sugar spike. You get a much slower, more controlled release of glucose into your system.
Slower fuel release.
Okay.
But then as it gets yellower and spottier.
Then things change. Fully ripe, bright yellow bananas, they have a higher GI. What happens is during ripening, that resistant starch converts into simple sugars.
The sweetness comes out.
Right. And that chemical change means the glucose gets absorbed more quickly into your bloodstream. So you get a faster rise in blood sugar compared to the greener ones.
Interesting. So ripeness is a major dial you can turn.
It really is. Though it's worth noting, our source also mentions the glycemic load, or GL.
Okay, what's that difference?
GL considers both the GI and the actual amount of carbs in a serving. And for a medium banana, even a ripe one, the GL is generally considered moderate, not super high.
Okay, so still manageable, but the speed changes. This gives us a much clearer picture. So knowing all this, the fiber, the GI, the ripeness factor, what does it mean in practice for someone with diabetes? How can they actually use this info to eat bananas safely?
Right, let's get practical. Based on all this, the Mindful Guide gives some really solid, actionable tips. First one, maybe the most obvious but also crucial, portion control.
Size matters.
Absolutely. While we talked about a medium banana being maybe 7-8 inches, the guide suggests maybe opting for a smaller one.
Yeah.
Or even just eating half of a medium banana. That's often a more suitable portion size to keep the carb count in check.
Makes sense. Keep it reasonable. And based on the ripeness discussion, should people just always go for the greener ones? What if you really like them sweet?
That's a good point. Ideally, favoring bananas that are still a little green at the tips is beneficial. You get more of that resistant starch, that slower sugar rise.
Okay.
But if you do prefer them riper, while you can't change the sugar content itself, how you eat it can make a difference. Which leads to the next recommendation, pairing it. Combine your banana or your banana portion with some protein and healthy fats.
The pairing strategy, like adding nuts or peanut butter.
Exactly. A handful of nuts, a spoonful of peanut butter, maybe some Greek yogurt, that kind of thing.
And that helps slow down the sugar absorption even more, besides just making it more filling.
Yes, both. It definitely promotes satiety, helps you feel fuller longer, but metabolically, the protein and fats act like extra buffers. They further slow down how quickly that banana sugar hits your system, creates a more balanced response overall.
Okay, buffer foods, I like that. So portion, ripeness, pairing, what else?
Then comes the really personal part. Monitor your own blood sugar. This is non-negotiable, really.
Because everyone's different.
Totally different. Check your levels before you eat the banana and then maybe a couple of hours after. That's the only way to truly understand how your specific body reacts to it.
Get that personal data.
Exactly. It gives you invaluable feedback. And the last main point is about context. Consider the entire meal.
Right. It's not eaten in a vacuum.
Precisely. A banana should be part of a balanced meal or snack. You probably don't want to just add it on top of an already very carb-heavy meal like pasta or a big sandwich.
So make it fit within your overall carb budget for that meal or snack.
You got it. It needs to contribute sensibly to your overall dietary plan for the day, not overwhelm it.
Okay. So when you put it all together, the verdict seems pretty clear then, that initial fear, the bananas are forbidden. It's largely unfounded.
Largely unfounded, yes. When you eat them thoughtfully, mindfully, considering all these factors, they can absolutely be a nutritious, even beneficial part of a balanced diet for someone with diabetes.
And maybe even good for other things, too. You mentioned potassium earlier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Let's not forget the broader health benefits. That rich potassium content, the vitamin B6, the fiber, they all contribute to overall health, including heart health.
And heart health is a big concern for people with diabetes, often.
A very significant one, yes. So there are definite pluses. The key, really, it just comes back to those principles. Moderation in portion size, maybe choosing less ripe options more often, and being really mindful of how they fit into your total diet picture.
It sounds like empowerment through understanding rather than just restriction.
That's a perfect way to summarize it.
And of course, the standard but always important advice for a truly personalized plan.
You absolutely should talk to a professional, a registered dietitian, or your healthcare provider. They can help tailor advice to your specific health needs, medications, and lifestyle.
Couldn't agree more. Personalization is key.
Essential for optimal management, truly.
Okay, so let's recap quickly. The big takeaway. Bananas.
Yeah.
Not forbidden for diabetics. It's
Yeah.
all about being mindful. Think portion size maybe smaller is better. Think ripeness a little green is your friend for slower sugar release. And think pairing add some protein or fat like nuts or yogurt to buffer the effect.
That's the core of it. Mindful consumption.
Right. And that leads to a final thought for you, our listener, to chew on. How might applying this same mindful consumption approach, understanding the nuances like ripeness or how pairing foods changes things, how might that transform your relationship with other foods you might currently limit or even fear?
Interesting question.
Yeah, what other so-called forbidden foods might you be able to reconsider, maybe bring back into your diet in a balanced way if you took the time to understand their nutritional landscape and how they interact with your unique body? Something to think about.